Hasina is currently in exile in the country. So how should India actually look at this? Should it take a stance? Should it wait and watch? What should be its policy?
Well, we've been waiting and watching for quite some time, and this verdict was expected. Nobody that I know has been saying that she will be acquitted. So, because the political vendetta and uh, the political atmosphere in Bangladesh is such that the Awami League and Hasina have been in the dock for quite some time. And I think this verdict was entirely expected, and it has been politically arranged, in my view, because as you remember, after the agitation, all the judges were changed forcibly. They were made to resign at gunpoint, and all these new judges were appointed. So it was clear that they are putting their own people there to get the verdict they want. And I think this is basically part of the vendetta that they have been conducting. That is, most of Hasina's opponents, particularly the Jamaat Islami, the students, and Professor Yunus, who heads the unconstitutional interim government. So they have a visceral hate for Hasina. The Jamaat Islami has not forgiven her for using the same tribunal actually for convicting their leaders of war crimes in 1971, when the Jamaat Islami was allied with the Pakistan and America to conduct genocide in Bangladesh. So they have not forgotten that, and they wanted that Hasina should also receive the death sentence, and if possible, be hanged. They would have killed her in any case during the agitation if she had decided to stay on. And the students also, of course, because they used this agitation to oust Hasina, also were against her because of the killings of students, etc., that happened during the agitation and police firing. And Professor Yunus himself has no love lost for Sheikh Hasina. He has been, involved in various cases launched against him by the Hasina government for money laundering, for not paying taxes, all kinds of sort of financial crimes mainly. And he was fighting those cases. And as soon as he became the head of the interim government, he has they removed all those cases, and they withdrew all those cases against him. So that showed that he was also interested in power, in the sense so that he can absolve himself. So those are some of the things that have happened already. So now we have a situation where India will have to watch very carefully what happens in Bangladesh. Any instability and particularly security problems that emanate from there will require constant vigil, because Bangladesh has since moved into a certain axis, which is like Pakistan, Jamaat Islami, and others. And I think Pakistan will certainly exploit the situation there, join hands with the Jamaat Islami and other Islamist and anti-Indian groups to cause problems for India. We have seen the Delhi blasts happening. There is also some report which says, I don't know whether it's verified or not, that there is a link with Dhaka. The LET, deputy chief or somebody had visited Dhaka recently. The Pakistani ISI and military, leaders, officers have been visiting regularly in Dhaka. So I think there is a total shift in the pattern of alignment of Bangladesh. And so that we have to watch very carefully and take whatever countermeasures that need to be taken.
Absolutely. Taking a cue from that, sir, since we have been witnessing a decline in the ties between India and Bangladesh, going forward, the Yunus-led interim government has promised free and fair elections. Do you think that is possible, given that Awami League seems to be temporarily banned? They won't be able to participate in this entire election process. So, going forward for India, the situation will continue to deteriorate if the same kind of government actually comes to power.
Well, when you say free, fair, and I think everybody also wants inclusive election, that everybody should be allowed to participate, whatever the result. Now, how can you call it free, fair, and inclusive if the Awami League has been banned from political activities, its registration as a political party has been suspended, and it will most probably not be allowed to fight in the elections because the opponents like Jamaat Islami, the students, and others fear that the Awami League, which still enjoys a lot of support, it is the largest party, grassroots level party in Bangladesh. The Jamaat Islami is also grassroots, but in a different way. They run madrasas and they indoctrinate these young minds to take them in a different direction. So Jamaat Islami actually is the power behind Professor Yunus, and the students are also very skeptical. They don't want elections because they are now part of this interim government and they want to keep exercising power. But I'm afraid that what is going to happen is a lot of violence, and that will be that will flow into the streets. There will be firing. The police chief has already ordered live fire to stop any agitation and violence. So I think we will probably see a return to that kind of street violence because the Awami League, I'm afraid, is not going to take this line down, and they will agitate, they will protest, and they will probably also indulge in violence because that has been the political sort of way of expression in Bangladesh, street violence. We've seen it during the agitation, what happened. So I think that is endemic in Bangladesh. Now, what happens after that is that either the elections will be postponed, which will suit some of the parties like the NCP, and of course Professor Yunus himself, who claims he doesn't want to stay in power, but I think he has always hankered after power and wanted to play a political role in his country. And then, of course, the Jamaat Islami, which was initially opposed to the election, but now feels that this is a good opportunity for them to, come back to, power maybe with some coalition or to get more seats in parliament, etc. The BNP also has always demanded election. The BNP has said that the Awami League should be allowed to participate because without the Awami League, everybody will say, hey, look, this is a fixed election. That is what the world is going to say. And if they want to go down that road, they must be prepared for the verdict of the global community that these elections were not free and fair.
Absolutely. And sir, the last time we saw such kind of violence, we saw the ouster of the Sheikh Hasina government. We saw her fleeing to India to be in exile. This time around, we have been seeing violence across the second week of November. There have been crude bomb blasts, arson activities, and we are also now seeing that the government is again taking that same old stance that the previous government took of shooting at sight and making sure that no violent protests happen across the country. Isn't history repeating itself? Because the country is very vulnerable right now. Going forward, what options does Bangladesh have? Because if this spills over, it will be a big problem for India.
I mean, it's my personal view that that violence will spill into the streets, and any government, I suppose, including this interim government, will want to stop the violence. And if they can't use normal police techniques, then they will fire, they will kill more people, and that will aggravate the situation. The best course for Bangladesh is to have free and fair and inclusive election, which means that the Awami League should be allowed to participate. I mean, whatever the verdict on Hasina, and its consequences is something else. I'm not sort of linking it with the fact that the Awami League, largest party in Bangladesh, and the party which fought for independence, can be banned, because that would mean you are depriving, 30 to 40% of the electorate the choice that they want to make. So I think this is a very important step that they need to consider. Of course, violence, etc., should not be permitted, And but what will happen is that if you ban the Awami League, then the violence will happen. Because they have no other option.
Right.
They will, instead of voting, they will vote for violence.
Right. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us on this broadcast. We appreciate your time. Unfortunately, we have to shift to some other news.